Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to yet another video. We got a good one here for you today. So, this was a match from earlier this week. We had, we're playing our new Gardevoir build. A little bit of a spicy build that we have going on. But this was an interesting matchup because I've been noticing that Ceruledge has been popping up. Usually not too bad of a matchup for Gardevoir, but Ceruledge is getting a new partner in Solrock Lunatone, which makes it a bit more difficult for our strategy because now they have an answer, very easy answer for Mimikyu here. So they have chosen, I think we chose to go second here, which is very fortunate for us because only having Mimikyu could have spelled disaster. This game could have been over before it started, but gonna do Ceruledge things here. Carmine, Squawkabilly, all sorts of stuff here. They get the Solrock, lots of energy in the discard pile. Fighting Gong, gonna get the Lunatone, be able to draw tons here. So Mimikyu is usually very good into Ceruledge because we can block the Ceruledge with the Mimikyu. Usually don't have an answer for Mimikyu being able to block that with the Safeguard, but Cosmic Beam obviously doing exactly 70 damage, goes right through Mimikyu's Safeguard. Going to be a bit more difficult to stop this deck now, but we did manage to find a way to do it here. They toss a lot here, but they do end up pal padding their Carmine and Research back in early pal pad, but they're going to be squawking and seizing anyways here. So again, lots of setup in their discard pile. They've gone through a ton of cards. They're down to 28 cards now, threw away a Delibird. Interesting inclusion in that one. Quick gift, being able to go first, use the attack if they go first, get the energy, in play, retreat, etc. And they get a Charcadet. So they're setting up very, very strongly here. So we're going to not really be able to use too much in terms of rare candy here. So we are understanding that we're probably only going to get one Gardevoir in to play the entire game. And it is more imperative for us to go ahead and get Frillish down here, get the Air Balloon. We don't want to use the second Ultra Ball just yet. We can hit the Iono. We're going to give them cards here. Air Balloon on Mimikyu means that we can retreat for free into Frillish. We also get a pretty decent start here. So getting Ralts down is not really a top priority for me. I want to be able to get answers down for this for the Ceruledge. Getting Gardevoir established later in the game is better for me. I want to start being a pest to them a little bit here. I want to stop their ability to use items to throw things in the discard pile as much as possible. I don't want to put down Mew, because putting down Mew means that I could get knocked out with a Ceruledge in the following turn. Just not a great option for us. So we hit them with the Oceanic Gloom. Get a little bit of damage on board for them, and we item lock them, which means they can't use their Gong, they can't use Ultra Ball, they can't use Earthen Vessel, they can't use any sort of stuff like that. Can't use Nest Balls, can't use Ultra Balls, nothing. So they're going to research here, which they had 2 Ultra Balls and a Nest Ball, so that was a massive value for us. They also get rid of a second Solrock, which is pretty good. So they will still get energy in the discard pile from the Lunatone. They're going to put down Pheasantipity and hit Cosmic Beam for 70, which is not a knockout on Frillish. Very good news for us that it is not knocking out Frillish. We get the energy down on Munkidori here. Debating on if we want to put down Mew. I don't think we want to put down Mew early because, again, very, very easy Ceruledge target very early on. We're going to shrink their hand down here, teeny bit with Iono, and kind of restart our hand ourselves a little bit here. So we do end up getting a Ralts down. A bit spooky, but we do end up getting Arven as well. So hopefully we can keep the Ralts in play. We end up putting some damage here. Now, Frillish is very cool here because the Vitality Band. So Vitality Band is going to put 30 more damage into play because of Oceanic Loon doing 20. Vitality Band does plus 10. We're doing 30 damage. Vitality Band is a different play that we've put into Gardevoir now. So it's very unique in terms of this deck because In some plays against like Joltik, for example, we want to be able to hit Joltik for 30 damage. Vitality Band lets us do that and item lock them. Prevents them from using Prime Catcher, things like that, right? So they can't use Counter Catcher, they can't use Prime Catcher, etc. So they're going to have boss's orders here and immediately knock out our Ralts, which is very unfortunate for us. And this is something we've expected is going to be happening, right? Cosmic Beam, okay, great. So, and now we have Frillish going back to the active here. So again, 30 damage onto Solrock here is definitely going to be taking a knockout. We do top deck Counter Catcher, which is great. We have Night Stretcher to get the Ralts back here as well. So they've burnt a boss. They're down to 12 cards in the deck. So we can opt to counter catch something up here. We know that they have a Ceruledge set up and already they're going to be swinging for quite a bit of damage. So we have put 60 damage into play with Solrock up to this point, or 60 damage with Frillish on top of the 20. So 20 damage initially, and then already get Solrock up to 80 damage, which is pretty good for us, right? So we want to get the Ralts back into play. We also have an Arven here that we can get a second Ralts down, so they can't just establish, like they just can't keep smashing our Ralts. And so we get, we could get a TM Evo here, we could get a Secret Box, we could do a whole bunch of stuff here. So I think we opt for a Secret Box just to set up our following turn. We have no hand otherwise. Looking at what we have, the Dark Energy, obviously we don't have a second monkey down, so the second monkey, saving the Dark Energy for the second monkey is not really a big deal. We're not going to be TM Evoing anyways here. Looking at our hand, what do we want to play with? We're going to grab a Research to get a full hand reset, get the Nest Ball for the second Ralts. Look at Artazon to get Pokemon down here, and Bravery Charm. So Artazon is also going to help us get more things like Munkidori established, etc. We can go ahead and get down another Pokemon here. I think I wanted to get a second Ralts down on this turn. Yes, definitely did. Get the second Ralts established. Now we could Nest Ball for Mew. Now Mew is dangerous to put into play yet again, because putting Mew into play too early means that they just have a very easy time to just gas that up, and then we lose on that prize. Because we're going to Oceanic Gloom, it means they cannot counter catch. We do, like, Bravery Charm is basically useless in this matchup. We do end up taking out their draw engine here as well. So taking out Lunatone means taking out Solrock means Lunatone cannot use its ability. We are going to Nest Ball for a second Frillish. We are thinking about potentially grabbing Mew, but we do have Research in hand, so we don't need to pull out Mew just yet. We're gonna grab the Psychic Energies because we can use the Psychic Energies on to discard. We're going to have one Frillish being on the attacking point here. Continue to item lock them, continue to slow down their energy pacing, continue to stop the things like Counter Catcher, etc. Reset our hand next turn and see where we can go. So we can get Gardevoir out on this next turn or two. There's no pressure for us to get Gardevoir out at this particular second. We don't need to, but we've taken out their Solrock. We've prevented them from getting Solrock back with Night Stretcher because they're out of Solrocks now. They're both in the discard pile. They can't use Night Stretcher to retrieve them. They can't use Super Rod. They can't use any items because they're still item locked. So we've got another big 30 damage into play. Kind of very important for us to get established. So giving up a couple of prizes here, a couple of single prizers is not a big deal for us as much. Now Mimikyu is also very important because the Solrock is no longer in play, no longer an option for them. So now Mimikyu can buy us a turn against the Ceruledge as well. So unless they go ahead and try to Power Gem twice, they don't easily have a way to be attacking into the Mimikyu unless they're able to get their Solrocks back. So they're going to bring up Ceruledge here. They attach and retreat, get a second Charcadet down. And they're going to Abyssal Flames here and just obliterate one of our Frillish. We do have a second Frillish ready to go here. So we can either put up Mimikyu, we can put up Frillish. We're going to put up Mimikyu to give ourselves an easy pivot, decide where we want to go. Obviously get more energy in the discard pile here. We could Ultra Ball. We don't really need to Ultra Ball for anything at this particular point in time. We want to Artazon, get a second monkey down because monkeys will become important. Research. We do get a Dark Energy. So we get the Dark Energy attach here. We do have a Counter Catcher here to force them into more damage onto the Lunatone here. We get the Dark Energy on Munkidori. And it's going to be a good turn for us because if we can survive this turn, we're going to have both Ralts. We'll have guaranteed Gardevoir next turn with Rare Candy Arven. We're going to be sitting pretty. on this next turn. They have 8 cards left, and we're going to have to start swinging very soon for multiple prizes. So we have to be very careful about how we're taking this turn. So we're going to Super Rod here. We're going to get the Frillish back in, the Dark Energy back in, because those may come in handy. Kirlia is going to go back in just to get more cards in our deck because we're sitting at 15. Not completely necessary, but nice to have just in case we have to pull up a second Guardy at any point in time. So we can pull up the Lunatone here. And we just go ahead and retreat for free with that nice little air balloon, giving us that free retreat cost. Now we do lose the Vitality Band, so we're back down to 20 damage, but now Lunatone is within range of double Munkidori knockout. They don't exactly play any Munkidoris in this list or ways to remove that damage counter, so we're looking at a free knockout on Lunatone when we decide that we want it. We do have the 2 monkeys established now, so item locking here is huge. They have a massive hand, so they do have answers in their deck to retreat this Lunatone. Obviously, could be energy. They have 7 cards left in their deck. They have jet energy, obviously. Up comes the Ceruledge. So now we have to think of how we want to be able to handle this, because we could take a 3 prize turn this turn, as we could go out potentially or find ourselves Mew, right? Depending on what we decide to play here. We could attack into the Ceruledge. We could, so we're going to hit the Artazon first here, I believe. No, we don't even bother with Artazon. Hit the Mesagoza. So if Mesagoza flip heads, we need 2 cards here, and we do end up flipping heads. We need 2 cards. We need to go to a different direction if we were going to be using Gardevoir, or using Arven for Gardevoir this turn. Mesagoza included in this deck because we want to be able to do stuff like we just did. Be able to Ultra Ball and Rare Candy in the same turn by not having to waste Arven for one of the other. Allows us to keep our hand as well. Mesagoza flipping heads, obviously making a massive tide turn onto this particular turn for us. So being astute and understanding, and then we get Gardevoir on the following turn, which is pretty good. So being astute and understanding that our opponent's win condition right now, being at 3 prizes, is for us to go down to 2 and for them to Briar. So knowing that that's the case, because this deck, the Ceruledge deck does use Briar, we want to stay out of Briar range while setting up a game state for ourselves. So we could push this 60 damage over to Lunatone and get a knockout here and then knock out with genome hacking. The problem then becomes if we go down to 2 prizes, they use Briar, knock out Mew easily, and then they take 3 prizes next turn. What we'd like to have is we would like them to take out Mew because Mew is going to be using Raging Amethyst, which discards all of its energy. And then ignore Gardevoir, because if they boss up Gardevoir at this point in time, it's going to be a problem for us. If they knock out Gardevoir, we have no way of getting Mew back established because we don't have a second Rare Candy for Gardevoir. We know this. But going to taking 2 prizes here removes Counter Catcher, makes it so they cannot boss and do other stuff here. So it's a bit of a pickle for them, but they can't use 2 supporters in this turn. They can't counter catch, and so they're going to have a bit of a hard time. They're going to have to be honest about using it on Gardevoir. I don't even think they have enough damage established yet. They actually might have enough damage established by this point in the game to hit 330. So Legacy energy coming down. This is a big problem for us, right? Because we cannot just easily knock out Ceruledge for game here. We have to work around it. So what can we do? We have enough damage on board to knock out Squawkabilly, to knock out Lunatone, but how are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? Do we have enough? I believe our counter catchers were all gone. We have no more gusting, but we do have a nice little card in the deck still called Screamtail. So our opponent's going to take advantage of not being item locked in this turn, basically go down to no cards left in their deck, and they're going to be fishing for their final gust to try and find a way to take out our Gardevoir and really put us in a position where we have no answer after this. Because if they're able to get their Solrock back the following turn, they attack, they just retreat to Solrock and attack Mimikyu, and we have no answers. But we'll have to see what they're able to do here. A best case scenario for us is they knock out Mew, they go down to 1 prize. And so they do end up knocking out Mew. They go down to 1 prize here, and we live to breathe another day. Now, it wouldn't be a game over if it was Gardevoir that got knocked out, obviously, because we still have a Ralts on the board. We could still evolve to Kirlia. We could still evolve to Gardevoir. That was available to us. We'd have to buy a couple of turns with Mimikyu. Hopefully they didn't have boss. They didn't have a way around it. Very low chance of that happening, but Mesagoza coming through clutch here again. Now, if this was an Artazon, it'd be a guaranteed Screamtail, but Mesagoza does flip heads. We have the research. We have a fairly good chance to find Screamtail if we flip tails off of that anyways, but we're going to go ahead and hit the research. There it goes. And we end up having the 2 Munkidoris. We get the Kirlia off of that research as well. Not really anything that would have rode home for us there, honestly. Not anything that would have been game-changing if we had Ionoed there either as well. But we could have had that chance to Iono them down to 1 if they knocked out Gardevoir, just giving us a chance to evolve to Kirlia, give us a chance to get Gardevoir out the following turn to get this play down. So we weren't completely out of it. If we knock out Ceruledge, because of Legacy Energy's ability, prevents us from taking 2 prizes, so we would be effectively losing the following turn to a backup Ceruledge. All we have to do right now is take the 60 damage off of Gardevoir, knock out Lunatone. We have to put 4 on here onto Screamtail, get ourselves to 80 damage. So we theoretically could have literally just done this with the items that we had on board. We do 30 off of Guardy, 30 off of Screamtail. The 60 that we sent to Squawkabilly the previous turn is enough for a knockout. We knock out Lunatone, draw a prize, which ends up being an Ultra Ball anyways. Better to be safe than sorry. This is a bit of a BM overplay, playing the Ultra Ball. We didn't need to do this. I said at the time we didn't need to do this. We had the 100 damage to knock out Squawkabilly. This is just to make sure that we get there. No shenanigans happening. Extra 20 damage to do 140, and then hit that onto the Squawkabilly for the final 3 prizes of the game, completely bypassing the Legacy Energy. And that is how we have to play that matchup, because that is a tough matchup now. Definitely hard. It is actually much better with item lock. I would suggest going into Ceruledge with Gardevoir if you have the item lock available. Definitely the best option for you to go into. Otherwise, you have to get multiple Gardevoirs set up, and hopefully they run out of gusting before it's significant enough for you in prize trade. And yeah, use the Screamtail to your advantage, because that's going to be the best option against their Legacy Energy. So if you like this kind of content, please like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. And please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this kind of content. Want to see more of it? Definitely helps the algorithm and push this video. Let me know that you guys like it. So I wanted to bring this one to you because this has been a tough matchup with the Solrock now in this deck. I wanted to give you guys an idea of how to get around that now that that's being a thing. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.